happening? We are at Tinsley's Custom Coatings. This video is going to be about powder coat and why you should probably be contacting him for your powder coat needs. So first we're going to unload the car, and I've already dropped off all the parts for the car, but the car is stripped and sitting right there on some dollies. So Jake and I are going to go unload this thing, and then we'll look it over, kind of go over the process of powder coating, and you know, what separates him from the rest of them and why he's the only guy that'll do any of the powder work for me. So hold tight. All right, so we got the car unloaded, and we're here with Jake Tinsley, and let me zoom in over here just so if y'all are interested, as you should be. There's his phone number, 864-605-7375. Hit him up. Let him do all your powder. Let him do all your ceramic coating. Let him do all that stuff. So, all right, here's the car, and this is Jake. So, Jake, how long you been doing this?
Going on 8 years.
All right. So, what'd you do before this? A lot of high-end body work, right?
Paint and body work.
Yep. So one of the things that separates Jake from a lot of the other powder coat that we've seen in my shop as cars come in and whatnot is that he understands that the prep work is important, and we're going to go over that here in a minute. So most people don't know what the process is of powder coating. Like myself, I figured you just show up with this and then you roll it in and you go, Jake, abracadabra, and then 48 minutes later it's done.
It's done.
And I'm over here trying to complain that it cost me more than 38 cents. So let's talk about the process. Now that I'm more informed, I learned a long time ago that there's a lot more to this than meets the eye. So what's the process? What do we got to do with this thing? What do we have to do?
So we just got finished going over the car, figuring out a game plan ourselves for it. So first things first, we'll come in, remove the glass. Typically, we wouldn't get them with glass still in them, but yeah, we'll help Devin out.
Like I said in my last video, I said, hey, this is going to be a Jake problem, not a Devin problem, because I'm fixing to break those. And I said in my last video, if anybody knows of a carbon or the Lexan version of this, let me know. But as of now, I couldn't find anything. So I made it Jake's problem, and he is awesome enough to take care of it for me. So windows are out. What do we do next?
So once we get windows out, we're going to take all the paint that's on the roof and quarters. We'll hand strip all of that before we go into media blast. You want to hand strip just to eliminate any possible warping of any of the panels. So once everything's stripped, we'll get it prepped and to go into media blasting. All the tubes, the sheet metal, exterior, everything will get blasted. A lot of the E-coat that's inside.
So wait, hold on, let me come over here. E-coat is that stuff, right?
Yep, the green.
Okay. So the green. Okay.
So it's actually a suitable substrate to powder coat over.
Okay, so if you're like me and you don't know what a substrate is, it means it's a material that you put stuff on. I just learned that a couple months ago. So
it's not as critical to get it, spotless, bare metal clean. We'll take any of the sound deadener, anything like that. We'll check for it, get any out that needs to come out. Once it's blasted, we'll hang it up from a rack or put it on a dolly.
Don't mean to interrupt you, but question. So you said something about warping, right? So,
yeah.
All right. So this is a pretty big panel, right? This quarter panel is pretty large, right? So if you were to just come in here and get your guy who shows up with his little mobile blaster, and I'm gonna blast this bad Larry for you, it's gonna be stripped.
Yeah.
This thing, if it costs you $1,000 to have the dude come and media blast this car, it's gonna cost you $5,000 to get this quarter panel to look worth a shit, right? Yeah. So what happens? It's thin.
It's thin. Any blasting creates heat. So you want to stay at an angle and further back, lower pressure. You just have to take your time with it.
So, but if you got somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing, they're used to industrial blasting, something thick, they hit this quarter, and now this thing's going to look like, the ocean, right? Like a whole bunch of waves in it. And it's because this gets hot. It's thin, right? So this is real thin. So this gets hot, and then it starts to deform. So that's why it's important to just use a chemical stripper on it first.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you chem strip, media blast the whole thing inside and out.
Yep.
Now this is obviously if somebody brought you just a chassis, not in a roof and quarters, then it'd be a different story.
Yeah,
But
then
for,
it's just straight to, we'll inspect it for any kind of oil contamination, anything like that. Media blast it, and then it's ready to clean. And
okay, so let's talk about the cleaning process, because I didn't know this either. You blast everything, right? So now it's got this like nice, ready to be what everybody thinks ready to be powder coated surface. Is that the right way to just throw powder over top of it?
no, it still needs to be cleaned, all the dust off, anything like that. Our process, we use a steam cleaner with iron phosphate solution. So that's gonna help to neutralize any rust that you might have missed, any oxidation, in a corner, anything like that. It's gonna neutralize it. After that, we'll run it through the oven, and then any of the, what you call white metal after it's been blasted, any oil that's on it, it'll look like a wet spot. So it's easier to see after it's blasted. If it comes out, has anything, we can take and use brake clean, something like that, scrub it with a Scotch-Brite, re-inspect it, then we'll go back and steam clean it again, double check again. Cleanliness is key with anything with powder coating.
Well, same thing with paint, right? So like if you had oil on something and you just started spraying paint over top of it, it's
it may coat over and look fine, but the second something hits it,
right,
that's
it's game over, right? So when I didn't know this, but he said, he's going to put it in the oven. That's without powder on it. You put it in the oven, preheat this thing, right? One of the questions we got, I got a bunch of questions about my the other car, the convertible, which is now the converter coupe. A lot of people messaged me and said, how on earth did he powder coat the body of the car without warping the quarters? So you bring the temp up real slow, right? So
we get that one a lot. So whenever it goes in the oven, it's a 20-foot box. The whole thing's hot.
We're gonna go back there and look. We're gonna look at it later.
If you were to take a torch and heat one spot to 400 degrees, it's gonna bubble up.
Right.
So when you're heating the whole thing, and it's coming up to temp as a whole.
Yep.
That panel isn't getting hot in one spot. It's the whole thing uniform, so it doesn't make it warp up then.
So with the thicker metal, wouldn't warp up if you just took a torch to it, but as you get to the thinner spots, like these corners wouldn't, but like as you get to the thinner spots, if you didn't do this properly, right? Like if you didn't introduce this properly, you would warp these panels, but you've proven countless times that you don't warp panels, and the converter coupe now it came out beautiful, right? So, all right, we've cleaned it. We're ready to powder, right? So we got all the oil out of it. We're ready to powder coat it. Now what do we do?
So we'll either hang it from a rack, depending on what anchor points we have, or we have dollies. We can set one on and brace it up.
So wait, do you not like my ghetto rig dollies?
Well, we're gonna try and not put those in the oven.
So you don't like that?
I don't know if Daytona is approved for high temp.
No, them bearings probably ain't gonna live. And that wood's gonna smell right in your oven,
Little smoke.
Yeah.
Right.
So either dolly or hang it, right? Yep. So this one could hang from a rack. You've got racks big enough to hold dragsters or full cars or whatever. You can hang or you can dolly anything, right? So it doesn't really matter how big the job is.
Anything up to 20 foot, it'll fit in the oven.
Yeah.
That's about the limitation of it. So
okay.
Once we do that, we gotta pick a color for it.
Yep. So what do you guys think?
So Devin's a fan of the green and some matte clear.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's what.
Let us know what you think of that color combo. I think that's going to really be. That's really going to.
That's just going to be inside.
That'll just be the inside.
The exterior color.
Yeah, the exterior color isn't figured out yet, but that may look really nice.
Any new fans from that?
Yeah.
One in particular.
Yeah. So here's a question. A lot of people think, man, powder coat, it's heavy. Well, we were just talking about this, right? So this is a 2 pounds. This is 2 pounds, right, of powder coat.
Yeah.
How many pounds of powder coat do you think we need for this thing?
To do the inside cage, inside of the pan.
All right. Sorry, we got interrupted. So how many pounds of powder coat do you think we need to do this whole car, the inside?
Typically do inside, all the panels, all the tubes, everything. 4 to 5 pounds will cover everything. We're going to put an epoxy primer first. So that's going to seal inside and out, keep everything from ever having any kind of corrosion issues. Once it's all primed, we'll take and put our color on all the interior, and we'll come back and actually wipe the powder off all the exterior. It'll be primed already and baked. So we'll wipe that off, makes it easier for when it goes to the paint shop. They're not cussing me for having to grind powder off.
Yep.
So typically the difference with powder and paint is powder is designed to go over bare metal.
Yep.
Paint, you need an epoxy primer, you need a sealer, base coat, clear coat, all that adds thickness. Thickness is weight.
Yep.
So if you painted that, you'd be 12 to 14 mils. With powder, primer, color, and clear, maybe 4 mils.
Right. So let's,
a third right there.
Right.
Thickness.
And thickness, which, so like this is 2 pounds. You think we're going to need probably 4 pounds for the inside of the car. But something that I didn't know about, and I just found this out about 20 minutes ago, is that there is an agent in this powder that winds up cooking off.
Yep.
Right?
So the resin in it that
resin
makes it actually melt and bond, that's all burning off.
Okay,
just like solvent in a paint.
Okay, so just like solvent,
when it dries, it evaporates out.
So we're losing 40% of that, right? Wasn't it 40%?
Overall,
yeah.
roughly, yeah.
So if we're talking about putting 4 pounds in the car of just the color, we lose 40% of that. And then let's just say we do another 4 pounds of the clear, but we lose 40% of that. We're not talking about a lot of weight added in comparison to if I was going to go get a freaking roll of Rust-Oleum and whatever, or if I paid somebody to, prime it, base and clear, regular paint, it'd be substantially more weight. So we learned that with the convertible. So you powder coat it, and I didn't realize this, but maybe it's just because it's probably just because I just hand the stuff over to you and go, here you go, make it beautiful. But you can change the colors dramatically by what clear you put over top of them, right? So depending on the type of clear that you put over top of it, whether it be matte or gloss or flat or whatever, which is kind of doesn't make sense to me, like a flat clear.
Yeah, it
doesn't make sense to me, but I'm not in this world. So so that's one of those things that, like, we were talking about, like, if he wanted to build a website, what do we do about showing colors? Well, every time you look at this, like prismatic powders or any of these brands,
it's overwhelming.
There's so many colors.
There, they go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, there's so many colors, right? And all the colors will show you, well, this clear over top of it or that clear over top of it. Yeah. So sometimes when you fall in love with a color, that doesn't mean that, like, you have to do not just the color, but you also have to do the clear, and it has to be over this type of a base. There's so many different facets to it. So, but with this is supernatural. So this is just going to be supernatural the whole time. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter what we put over top of that bad area. So, all right. So we're going to roll this thing in, and we're going to go walk around Jake's shop, and we're going to show you a couple of things, some of the stuff that they go through, and further explain that process, because I always find the way things are done to be really intriguing to me. So probably because I'm very detail oriented in what we do. So for a living, and I always like to learn as much as I can. I didn't realize that there was so many steps to it. So we're going to push this thing in, and then we're going to go walk around in the shop and take a look. All right. So here's my pile of stuff that I dropped off with Jake. Sorry. Only one rear end housing. Actually, I dropped that one off too, and that one over there. But this is the only one that we only have one rear end housing on this car, which maybe we screwed up. Maybe we need a second. Anyway, so this is a pile of parts. So I want to talk about the process, right? So this is a brand new aluminum fan shroud that Matt at Performance Fab built, right? Matt and the boys over there did a great job. Came out beautiful. Brand new. The process for this brand new piece of aluminum is the same as what we just discussed, right?
Yep.
I think this is what separates Jake from everybody else, because a lot of people would just say, oh, we'll etch this thing a little bit, we'll blast it a little bit, and then we'll put some color in it and we'll ship it out the door. So here's a couple, yeah. So here's some of the stuff that I see in my shop that come in, right? I see stuff that has been powder coated and then the holes are screwed up, right? So you have to chase all the holes. So if your time's worth anything, you deal with somebody who would actually plug all of your holes for you, right? Plug them, not just put a piece of tape that looks like crap and then you see kind of like a little bit of aluminum here bare aluminum, and then you see black. Anyway, Jake does a good job right here, covers all this stuff up, right? Then you have to blast it, you have to clean it, then you have to phosphate it, right? Yep. So you have to phosphate it, then you have to steam clean it again, then you heat it, and then you look for oils. So we're touching this thing, right? So I'm probably making his life worse. But oil's gonna come out of here because this was heated from a weld, right? So oil's gonna come out of here, then you gotta clean it again, right?
Yep.
So, and then steam clean it again. Now it's time to actually powder coat it. So,
yeah, so any little
here.
spurs, scratches.
So this
you want to address all that before you start doing any blasting.
This right here, that little guy right there, that's definitely from me throwing it in a box. For sure I did that. But he'll touch all this stuff up, you know what I mean, to make this right, and then when I get it back, I'll have a nice cellophane wrapped, too nice of a cellophane wrap job, honestly, because it's a pain in the ass to get off. But I'll have a nice radiator shroud that I can put on and not have to screw with, right? So that to me is like kind of a value add. So when I look at stuff, I don't want to pay for something and then have to work my ass off to make it actually usable, right? So if you've dealt with any of this stuff in the past with powder, reach out to Jake, you won't anymore. Here's another one, right? So this radiator, I don't know, however much money I got wrapped up into it, well, it doesn't matter. But there's a whole bunch of there's bungs here, bungs there, there's a bung there welded, another one here, all this stuff, right? So we spend all this money to build all this custom stuff. And then we're like, screw it, we're just gonna hit it with a rattle can. Well, that's basically what you're doing if you bring it to a powder coat guy who's not doing all of the steps that you should be doing in order to achieve this job the correct way. And I think that's, and I'm not sitting here saying that there's nobody else out of the country. Obviously there are. There's tons of great people. But if you're in the Southeast, if you're watching this channel, if you know how picky I am, call Jake, because he'll do a proper job and you'll be happy with the end result. And he is not extremely expensive, like very reasonable, like probably too reasonable. Actually, I shouldn't say that because he's standing right here.
We hadn't done your bill yet.
Yeah, I haven't got my bill yet. So, man, he's really high. No,
man, we're reasonable.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. He's extremely reasonable, and I think you'd be pleasantly surprised with what your bill would end up looking like. So let's just do a little bit of walk around here. This is a bunch of stuff from me. Over here, don't mind the light. This light that's flashing. Yeah, it started flipping out when I got here. It probably knew. So this is all like strip tanks. So these are all, don't open that shit. But these are all chemical strip tanks, right? So a bunch of different chemical strip processes. This is what one of the wheels looks like.
Yeah, that wheel has to get a couple passes through to get everything off.
So what was that? That was a factory.
That's one of the Porsche wheels.
So that's a factory Porsche wheel.
They use a different primer and doesn't come off the easiest. So we'll run them through twice typically.
Leave it up to the Germans, you know.
Oh yeah.
So here's a brand new wheel on a Porsche, right? It has to get chemical strip, no matter what. You can't just powder coat over top of it. So if you're thinking that you can, you're wrong. We're gonna get out of the disco party. This stuff here, this has all been blasted.
Yep.
Okay, so this has all been blasted, more blasted. We're not gonna talk about this right now, but that's Jake's car. And we're gonna be covering that one too. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So that's been blasted. This is all, so here's some more wheels.
Yeah. So these are ready to be cleaned. We'll mask up all of our surfaces, the rotor, bearings, all that. And then that one's ready.
That's ready.
Steam clean.
Yep.
Ready to be coated.
So same thing with
all this over here.
So yeah, there's one of the, like there's one taped up, like there's a bearing surface, that green right there. That's taped up for the face of the wheel so that it doesn't get screwed up. What are you doing on this? This was different. This is different. You're doing something different in here, aren't you?
That's where we found that the heat dissipation coating works very well inside. We started doing that on a couple drag and drive cars, and they had lower intake temps. After the drive, they didn't have to wait as long to make a pass. So,
yeah, the engine. So like, I can attest to this. This literally starts to. It's cooler to the touch in a lot shorter of a time after a long period of driving. So it actually dissipates the heat fast, like very fast. It doesn't get rid of the heat, obviously, because the engine's making the heat, but it's getting rid of the heat a lot faster than normal.
It helps with a lot of the heat soak.
Yeah,
from the engine.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll coat the inside of that one first, and then mask it. We'll have to re-blast it because it's going to get overspray.
Sure.
Outside.
Yeah.
We'll re-blast it, and then we're doing powder on the outside of it.
Okay. So you heat dissipation coating inside, powder on the outside.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So inside peanut butter, outside jelly.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
And then here's a whole slew of stuff over here.
It's a bunch of in process.
So this is all in process. Okay. So these are more wheels, tons of wheels. There's a big Alcoa.
Yeah.
What is that? Is this painted? What is this? Is this our powder
That's
coat?
just the first coat. We've got to do
Okay.
black inside.
So you have to do. Okay. So
yeah.
you have to do window. You have to do these in black.
Yeah.
That Josh's wheels look awesome, and I know you'll never do it again. I know you don't ever want to do that again.
So this guy had these. These were the normal semi truck Alcoas that were bullet holes, and he actually had a guy machine
Oh, cool.
the pockets in them to look like a aftermarket wheel.
So you can do no problem doing two-tone stuff with nice sharp lines. I mean, I already know this, but maybe somebody else doesn't. So yeah, they can.
Just don't show that.
We ain't gonna go over into that corner. That corner is a mess, right?
Yeah.
And then we got a steam cleaner here. We've got a oven here. Got another sandblaster here. We got a. So this is where you spray everything down, right? Yeah. So like, this is a big operation. Like, it's a large operation. So like, it's not. When I tell people, man, send the stuff to Jake. This isn't like Jake's out in back of his tool shed.
Show up at my little carport.
Right. Yeah, you're not showing up to the carport behind the house and dropping your prized belongings off with somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. So there's a big rotary screw compressor back there. He's set up to do this job right, and he's got a track history of doing it. So, all right, I will probably check back in with you. I don't know. What do you think? You'll have all this done tomorrow morning?
Yeah, probably about 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Okay, perfect. That's a joke, people. So
Is it?
yes. No, I'll check back in with you. We'll as you're doing that, maybe I'll stop by. We'll do another video, kind of the process of it, and show it. So,
good.
all right. Thanks for checking it out. See you.